Good morning, everybody. Oliver Joyce here from Whiskey Barrel Studios, and today I'm proud to announce that the Swords and Sandals official soundtrack has launched on Steam. This is a long time in the making. The first song for Swords and Sandals was recorded way back in 2005 during the development of Swords and Sandals 1, which of course didn't come out officially until 2006. This soundtrack spans some 64 tracks. Some of them are very short, 8-10 seconds long. They're just little sort of flourishes of trumpets and things that you hear in key moments in games. Other tracks are quite long, up to sort of 3 minutes plus. And there are certainly tracks that you've heard before and some tracks that you can find on the YouTube channel. But you'll also find songs here that you've never heard before. There are alternate versions of some of the title theme songs, different mixes with different sounding instruments. There's a couple of songs that I had in my archives that I actually recorded way back in the 90s. There are some songs that I recorded as a teenager here, right at the end in the bonus track section, which I think you'll find kind of funny. The recordings of those are pretty low quality, but I'm sort of just happy to include them there for posterity. This is, of course, volume 1 of the official soundtrack because I plan on bringing you more Sword and Sandals music as the years to come. But this is basically from game 1, Sword and Sandals, right up to now with Spartacus. It includes music from just about every game there. Not every track is included, of course, because some tracks I didn't have the rights to because they're sort of royalty-free tracks I just was able to use in the game but can't sort of release as independent music. Before I show you some of the tracks, I want to give a big shout out to some composers that worked on these songs with me. Adrian Galassi, who's a fantastic composer from Brazil that I've worked with over the years, is just phenomenal. And he provided the soundtrack for Sword and Sandals Medieval, some songs from Sword and Sandals 2, 5, and Pirates. And he's just a joy to work with and just a wonderful human being who I haven't spoken to in a little while. So Adrian, if you're watching this, I hope you're well, my friend. And I hope we can work together on some Sword and Sandals stuff again. I know Adrian isn't composing at the moment. Life gets in the way. But he's a fantastic talent. And I just want to say, without his music, I don't know if Sword and Sandals would be where it is today. Marcus Dagg is another composer who came to me quite recently in the last year or so, a year or two, and had just provided a couple of tracks off the top of his head. It said, "Hey, I've written some music for Sword and Sandals. You want to use it?" And I said, "Absolutely." And so he did some music for the Classic Collection and, of course, Swords and Sandals Mini Fighters. And I actually commissioned him to do a couple of tracks for Pirates and a few other things. He did the official soundtrack, the title theme for Spartacus as well. And finally, the other composers musicians I'd like to give a shout out to are Gabriel Castro and Kai Grattan from the metal band Deconstructivist, who I believe have probably long since broken up. And, this was at least 10 or 11 years ago that they recorded this song, the heavy metal song from Swords and Sandals 3, which is perhaps by far my most requested track, and everyone loves it or hates it. It's that primal scream that you hear at the beginning, and that epic guitar was done by those guys who, just really know how to rock. And I don't know what they're doing these days, but I do hope they have had all the success and all the sex in the world that they possibly can find in a heavy metal career. And they certainly made Swords and Sandals 3 the rockin' out game that it is today. So without further ado, let's play a couple of tracks from the soundtrack just so you can get a bit of an idea of what you might find in the package. All right, so I'm going to put my headphones on so I can hear it and you can hear it. We'll start off with, of course, the title theme, which is the first track you'll hear in the game. Yeah, that is just a beautiful track from Marcus Dagg. It has the harpsichords in the beginning and the little sort of drum track, and then it brings in the French horns, and it just leads into something epic that you hear at the beginning of the classic collection. That opens the album. Then you've got a bunch of the classic songs like this is the title theme from Swords and Sandals 2, of course.
We who are about to die, salute you. Gladiator.
It wouldn't be a Swords and Sandals soundtrack without the Gladiator, which I, of course, sang way back in 2005. You know, who'd have thunk?
Gladiator. Gladiator. Gladiator.
So, I mean, you can use that as a ringtone or something now. It'll be part of the Steam soundtrack for it. Funny enough, that song almost was the reason for the game's popularity as much as the game itself, because people just love singing Gladiator, Gladiator, Gladiator. I don't know. I got lucky with it, I think, because I'm an amateur composer. I like to tinker on my keyboard, which you can see in the background there, and my guitar. But I'm not a trained musician. I'm creative, but I don't really know what I'm doing. So that's why I often hand these things over to real composers. What else have we got? We've got the death theme from Swords and Sandals.
Swords and sandals, gladiator, gladiator, swords and sandals.
Oh yeah, right there you heard one song fade into another. That's actually just my music player. The songs don't really fade like that. Mine just fades after a few seconds. But what's interesting with that death theme is I want to show you one of the bonus tracks in the game, and that's Arglax's theme. Now, you'll recognize this as that do 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 rah, but it was actually composed by me just for fun long before Sword and Sandals. It appeared right after a trip to Gibraltar, and when I got home from a European trip as a kid, maybe I was 22 years old. I recorded this song about the macaque monkeys there, and basically came up with this silly fantasy that the monkeys sort of took over the world. I ended up turning this into Arglax's theme more recently because I think it's kind of a cool backstory for Arglax the Beast Lord. Let's play a little bit. Macaque monkeys, of course.
Macaque. Once, a long time ago, before the rain, before the snow, here's a tale that you don't know. A monkey band began to grow. Twice, they hurried off to war. They destroyed the dinosaur, and now macaque is back again. This could be the end for man.
Yeah, so it's a really stupid song. It's about monkeys taking over the world, and it's got samples from Samuel Jackson and Pulp Fiction. I think there's some swearing at the end. It's just, I used to write silly songs just for fun, and that's the only real silly song you'll find in this one. But I actually have a whole album of songs that I've written and sung, which, let me know in the comments if you're interested. Perhaps I'll put it together one day. Just dumb novelty songs. But yeah, Arglax's theme, and I think that will now be the official backstory of Arglax and the macaques, and they basically came from Earth. They escaped Gibraltar around the time that Chaos and the Roman legions came through the portal and became, of course, the Legion of H. And the monkeys came through and just bred and became, more than monkey. What else do we have? We have, of course, the heavy metal theme, which is what everyone wants to hear. It sounds really loud on my earphones. Yeah. It's hard not to rock out to that one. I love that. That's my favorite track on the whole album, and I think it's most people's. Other than that, we've got sort of the instrumental title themes from Swords and Sandals. There are the versions with me singing, the versions without me singing. You've heard this in the song, but this is a 2-minute long version, which you may not have heard before. There's a strings mix, which is kind of... And that's another 2-minute long version. There are a lot of songs from Sword and Sandals Medieval, which was written by Adrian Galassi. I did the original, of the title theme, which sounds like this. This was done on my keyboard back there. And of course, Adrian remade it into this awesome song. How cool does that sound? It kind of just goes to show what you can hear, and what a great composer will do for a song. I mean, I have the seeds of the music and the melodies, but these guys just turn it into something special. There's all sorts of there's instrumentals from the archery. There is the fishing song. Beautiful. I love the violin in this song, or fiddle. There's a ton of songs from Sword and Sandals. Pirates, of course, the title theme, which is one of my compositions that was remade by Adrian Galassi. And that's quite a long song as well. That's almost 2 minutes. The original, my version, is there. Which has that string introduction. That one's 3 minutes long. Has the mandolins coming in, that kind of thing, but I prefer Adrian's version. But I actually quite like this original. This is one of the original compositions that I was quite happy with. Anyway, a lot of epic sound music. Of course, there's the tournament win song from the Redux versions of Swords and Sandals 2.
You just won the tournament. 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 Ah!
And of course, the Swords and Sandals 5 Redux title theme, which I don't know if I put on YouTube or not, but it's quite cool. Again, the fading in between songs you won't hear on the album. Anyway, of course, there's the Spartacus theme song is in there. With the sort of pipe organs and, pretty Castlevania sounding. Yeah, and a bunch of other home demo type things. There's a silly little bonus track from Ghoul Academy, which I think you actually might have heard in the mini games from Sword and Sandals 4, which is this one. I made this one 2007 in a program called Fruity Loops, which is a sequencing program. It's one of the few really electronic kind of tracks. But it's kind of catchy. Yeah, anyway, that, my friends, is just a small sample of what you'll find on the official Swords and Sandals soundtrack, which is available now on Steam. At some point, I'm hoping maybe to put it on, I don't know, can you put it on Spotify? I guess you can. maybe iTunes. We'll see how it goes on Steam first, because that was the easiest thing for me to put up. And you can get it now. It's in the link below. Please, if you like it, buy it and leave a review. I'd love to know your thoughts on it. And this could be great music for jogging or training for a fight, or wooing a loved one, perhaps. Perhaps not. I wouldn't recommend that, not unless you're very brave. Anyway, once again, thanks to the others that have helped me on this soundtrack over the years. And thanks to you guys for being fans of this series, and such fans of this series that I've been able to make so many games and so many songs that I was able to put a 64-track album together. Again, it's humbling, and I really do intend this to be volume 1 of what may be many volumes. If I'm making these games in 50 years' time, there'll be many more volumes. Who knows? I'm enjoying the journey anyway, and I hope you enjoy the music for Swords and Sandals. Until next time, my friends, bye for now.